I woke up the next day and I couldn't get out of bed. I was like, what the hell did I just do?
What is the biggest ticket item that you're selling right now? How much?
11K all the way to like 35K.
For money like that, dude, that's life-changing money, especially from home.
If you don't improve, you become stagnant. As time goes on, as time changes, as people become more sales resistant, you have to adapt. If not, you'll get left behind.
People kind of get trapped into, all right, well, business is going to be easy. Being an entrepreneur is easy. As you know, building multiple businesses is actually the complete opposite.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be real.
Yeah.
You know? Hey guys, and welcome to Lowball Podcast. This is Paul Alex, and today we have we have two special guests. And these are actually close friends of mine. They work with me with one of my businesses. And guys, they are the elite when it comes to becoming a high-ticket closer here in the digital marketing space. So yes, we have another special guest here, Brandon and Matthew. How you guys doing today?
Doing good.
Good, man. Good. Glad to be here.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. And this is going to be a good one, guys. So if you guys are looking to get into the high ticket space in the online world, I know that there are literally, dozens of courses out there trying to tell people, hey, it's easy to go ahead and be a closer, to go ahead and make money online. If you guys watch any of these old school sales movies like Wolf of Wall Street, Boiler Room, I love those movies, by the way. They're funny. No. We're going to get the real deal right here because we have one consultant, Matthew, who has 1 year of experience, has been able to generate over $1 million of revenue. And then we have a more senior consultant here, Brandon, who has been in the sales industry for 3 years and has been able to generate over $10 million in revenue. So we're going to get their perspective, what they went through, and what it is like to be a high-ticket closer in 2024 and beyond. All right, Brandon. So let's start with you. What were you doing before you got into digital marketing sales?
I had a few businesses that I was actively working on way before I got into sales, corporate America right before that. And it was completely the opposite of what sales is. So something that's completely different. Originally, I was supposed to go to dental school.
Wow.
And I grew up in a very traditional family where they're saying if you're not a doctor, you're not a dentist, you're not a lawyer, get out of my face, that type of family. So when I went and did something else, that's kind of how it all started. And then I fell in love with sales. Here I am today.
No, I love that, man. I love that. And, what type of companies were you doing before you got into high ticket sales?
Specifically, it was ATMs, Amazons, and I've tried a few businesses as well, but I didn't make any money from that, so we won't count those.
No, I love that, man. And besides the businesses and all that jazz, I guess what still drives you to do sales right now in 2024, man? What will you say? Where is the sales industry leading to? Is it growing? Is it oversaturated? What's your take on that?
So, I mean, when it comes down to sales, number one, it's absolutely not oversaturated. Okay, because no matter what business, no matter what organization, I mean, the definition of business, in my opinion, is solving problem. And in any cornerstone of a business, there's always some sort of selling going on. Whether it's the way you dress, whether it's the way you talk, whether it's actually on a call, you're always selling yourself, even in the day and things of that sort. So definitely not oversaturated. I think it's phenomenal. What keeps me driving? Well, number one is it's the fear of failure, right? It's kind of like you're riding a bicycle. As soon as you stop, it just, you could fall. And the second thing is I enjoy what I do because the way I see it is everyone goes through life in many different journeys. One is that, you focus on yourself, you become the best version of yourself so that way you can take care of other people. But you got to take care of yourself before you're able to do so. So now at the point is you're helping people. And I feel like that's the next stage. That's what keeps me going.
Nice. No, I love that, dude. So follow-up question is within your role right now, okay, year to date, what is the biggest month you've ever had, dude? If you feel comfortable saying it.
the most money I've made, man, it was about 35K. Okay. And so the company I work at, we prioritize paid in full. So we don't pay just based on closed deals. We only pay when we're paid in full. So actually, if you think about it, it's just some people just need a little bit more time before they're actually able to come up with the investment, whatever the scenario might be. So technically I've made more, but in 1 month, what I've actually gone to my bank account, which is what we're talking about here, it's 35K.
No, I love that, dude. And for like, let's say anybody in the beginning stages, and let's say they're out of college, let's say they're in high school, let's say, dude, they're like probably like 36 like me, and they're looking for a career change, right? Would you recommend high ticket sales?
I would because, well, it comes, the one thing I like about it is you could work wherever you want. And, you know, a lot of people will say like, we're passionate about helping people.
Right.
And that's really what it comes down to sales is we're not trying to sell them something. We're trying to get them to come to that conclusion for themselves. And you're there to help facilitate that journey. It's a transfer of energy. So I would personally recommend it because I think the number one fundamental skill you could have in life is sales. Whether you're trying to understand what's going on if your partner has a problem or whatever it might be.
No, that's awesome, dude. All right, so let's switch to Matthew now. So Matt,
Yep.
same question, bro. What's your background? What were you doing before sales?
Yeah.
What got you into sales, bro?
Yeah. So before sales, I was actually in the healthcare field. So complete 180. And it was right before COVID where I had a choice, right? I could just continue going down the route of like healthcare and doing what I have been doing, or actually like make a pivot. And it was around that time where I actually saw an ad for starting a digital marketing course. And I always had the back of my mind, like, I always wanted to be an entrepreneur, but I never actually really acted on it.
Right.
So it was one of those things where, you know, you're just thinking about it, but you never actually do it. And I saw an ad and I remember jumping on a call and I was speaking to a closer at the time. And they enrolled me into the course. And then from there, it was just, my life changed completely.
And what year was this?
This was in 2019.
So 2019,
Yeah.
you end up seeing an ad.
Yeah.
Facebook?
It was on Instagram.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's still part of Meta. So Zuckerberg was targeting you.
Yeah.
And,
Right.
and marketing to you. And just like me, dude, down the rabbit hole, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. How much did you end up spending on that course?
Spent, so 6,000 USD.
Yeah.
And so for me, it was like around like 7K.
So were you married at that time?
I was about to be.
Okay, what'd your girl tell you?
She was shocked.
So
She was
just
absolutely
scam.
shocked.
Like what was the deal?
Yeah. So she was like, honey, do you know what you're getting into?
Oh, shit. She's questioning your
Yeah, of
leadership.
course. Yeah. It's just like, hey, you're about to give somebody money online. Like, are you ready to do this?
Yeah.
And when I made the investment, that was almost everything I had.
No shit.
Yeah.
Wow. That's wild, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had my back against the wall.
The true
But-
entrepreneur right there.
Yeah. I woke up the next day and I couldn't get out of bed.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell did I just do?
Right.
But, you know, fast forward now, it's given me the skill sets, the experience to do what I get to do now.
Yeah.
So,
And now you're closing high ticket deals, dude.
yeah.
What is the biggest ticket item that you're selling right now? How much?
Yeah. So the biggest ticket item I'm selling right now is like, they're range between anywhere from like 11K all the way to like 35K
35K.
packages.
Wow. So just imagine, dude.
Yeah.
A few years later,
Yeah.
now you're on the other end
Yeah.
and you're going ahead and you're going on these calls
Yeah.
with serial entrepreneurs, people that want to get off the 9-to-5 grind
Yeah.
to go ahead and start a business.
Yeah.
And now the packages you're selling
Yeah.
are like
Yeah.
5x what you paid for,
Right.
which is insane when you think about it.
Yeah.
Wow. but it takes money to make money, right?
It does.
So what's your perspective right now on courses and programs, dude? Like,
Yeah.
essentially, you've been in the game for a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, you do work on like one of the companies that I run,
Yeah.
but also you've worked with other consultants, other
Yeah.
business owners.
Yeah.
So what is your take? What is your opinion on the digital marketing world right now in 2024, dude?
Yeah. I'm a huge believer in investing in yourself. Like, even if you can get like one tip, one thing that you learn out of the course, it's worth it. Like, you're learning essentially a high income skill that if you can get down, you never have to worry about where money's coming from again.
Yeah.
So I'm a big believer in investing in myself. It's scary though. Every time I've done it, it's always, I still feel a little bit of that, like, is this going to go well? What's going to happen? But I've always looked at it as like, hey, this is an investment into myself, into my future. That's why I'm a big proponent of like just invest in the education, the knowledge from someone who's been there, done that, so you can avoid the things that they've done and actually, shortcut the process. Because that's something you can't put a money on, is like time.
Facts, dude. And how old are you right now?
I'm 29.
29?
Yeah.
Still a baby, bro. How old were you when you invested in 2019?
So that would have been, that was 19. So that was like 5 years ago. So 25.
You were 25.
Yeah.
So 25,
Yeah.
your fiance back then, knew your wife.
Yeah.
What does your wife have to say about that now?
She looks back at it and she's like, I'm glad you did it. I'm
Yeah.
I'm glad you did it.
Because you're from Canada, dude, and now you're in Miami.
Yeah. It's crazy to see it. Like, you see online,
Yeah.
and you think to yourself like, wow, is this even a thing?
Right.
And I always just say, as someone who's coming from healthcare, which is the complete opposite,
Right.
you got to look at it and be like, hey, if someone can do it, like, why can't I?
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts. And that's cool, man. So you got into the sales game.
Yeah.
You're selling high ticket now.
Yeah.
How has that been able to actually like work for you in your life? Like,
Yeah.
you have kids,
Yeah.
a wife.
Yeah.
Like, do a rundown on
Yeah.
like, an average day of a high ticket consultant.
Yeah. So for me, I get to wake up to my kids. Thank God that I'm able to keep my wife at home with the kids, so she doesn't have to work.
So you're the primary and
yes.
the only bread maker.
Yes.
Or bread.
Yeah.
You are able to generate the bread.
Yes. Yeah.
But no, that's good. That means that you make enough to cover the household.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay. Continue, bro.
Yeah. So just waking up, kissing my wife good morning, waking up my kids. I'm a pretty boring guy. Like, there's nothing really interesting about what I do. I got a routine in the morning, get the kids up, help the wife, making sure they're all dressed up, they're fed.
Yeah.
And then it's just, hey, when you get into sales, it's just you got to like switch it on.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that hat you're wearing with your family's got to be different when you're in sales, because ultimately whatever happened the day before or the morning of, whether good or bad, you can't bring that into what you do in sales.
Facts.
You got to be able to separate. So I tell her, hey, once that time starts, doors close, you know what I got to do. I'm going to stay locked in. And then from there, it's, checking the admin, checking the Slack, all that good stuff. And then it's just hopping on my first call.
Yeah. And then on average, how many calls are you doing per day?
Yeah. So I'm taking about like consultations about
You can do a range.
in range. Yeah. So like 5 to 10 calls
5 to 10 a day?
Yeah.
Okay. And what's the biggest month you had?
Biggest month I had was I brought in 16K in commissions.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was making probably like 4K as a cop, and I was busting my ass 80 to 100 work weeks. And I always tell people this, now based on what I know at this age and what I've done, even being a CEO and a founder of multiple companies, dude, I would still take the route of sales.
Right.
I would just stick to sales, grow it as much as possible, learn as much as possible, because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, dude, like, you got to think about it like this. As a high ticket sales consultant, you guys are able to build a personal brand.
Yeah.
You guys are able to go ahead and leverage the company's marketing because they're bringing in leads for you.
Yeah.
Primarily, you guys
Yeah.
are still doing outbound and all that jazz.
Yep.
But you're also learning.
Yeah.
You get to learn a lot.
It is.
I don't know what other type of like career or company or opportunity
Right.
where you're able to work remote from home
Yeah.
You're able to travel, you know, come to cool
Yeah.
destinations like Miami,
Yeah.
jump on podcast,
Yeah.
and then go jump back on a plane or go have dinner in like Miami nightlife on Saturday
Yeah.
and live that life, dude. You know, it's amazing.
It's amazing.
It's amazing,
Yeah.
dude. So,
Yeah.
no, that's awesome. So, Brandon, let's switch to you, brother. All right. So, give the audience 3 tips. If, let's say, someone who currently is stuck at their 9 to 5 and they're like, dude, this shit sucks. I'm ready to go ahead and try my hand on sales, but I don't know the first thing of sales. What are the first 3 steps that our viewers and our listeners can take in order to start educating themselves in sales? And then what would you recommend? Would you recommend they invest in a mentor, a program, maybe join free communities? What's your take on this, man?
Yeah, I would I would say the first step really that you have to take is you got to ask yourself, why are you even doing this? Why do you yourself want to get into sales?
That's good.
And so you got to have that belief. You shouldn't just be going after it because it's a great pay or it's anything like that. You need to have, you know, a strong reason why. Just what Paul always says, because that's what's going to make you stand out. That's when it's like almost like going to the gym. You're not going to get results right away. Okay. Gratitude happens down the line. It's delayed as far as the process goes. And it's the same thing in sales. You're not going to get good overnight. And so you got to stay disciplined. And what really is going to keep you disciplined is yourself, right? It's really got to be that. So I would say that's going to be the first step. Why are you doing this? And the best thing you could do, because there's one thing that I just came across today before I even hopped on here, is a lot of people, they lie to themselves. You got to be honest with yourself, right? So I'll say that's step number 1. Step number 2 is 100% invest into a mentor. Because even for me, and there's a general saying, you don't know what you don't know.
Facts.
And you got to invest into somebody else. Because think of it like this. No matter what path you walk in life, no matter what actions you take, life is all about risk. So if someone else has done it before you have, all the thorns, all the bush, everything's been cleared up and you can walk down that road. And even now to this day, I still invest. I still choose to learn. And I got to say, that's got to be step number 2. Step number 3, I would say, you got to know is you got to put yourself out there. Okay. And it's as cliche as this might sound, your network is your net worth. Okay. And you got to continue to network with people, because you see people in undeserving positions or, you know, whatever your opinion is on something like that. It's because they networked.
Yeah.
They met the right person. And so as long as you do yourself out there, you're in it for the long run. I would say that's going to be the 3 steps for you.
No, that's great answers, man. I really like that. So a follow-up question to you, Brandon, is that, like, I'm pretty sure, you know, you guys talk to thousands of aspiring entrepreneurs that want to start a business, but because I've been on calls for years as well, I know that a good portion of them have very, very strong limiting beliefs.
It's true.
Why do you think majority of America and even worldwide, why do people have limiting beliefs, man?
No, it's a great question, Paul. It's a deep question, man. Personally, there's so many contributing factors to that, such as your environment. I'm only in this position because I chose to be away from my environment. It's like, you know, as you grow older, people always say your circle naturally gets smaller.
Yep.
It's the same thing here, but more than anything, people are not letting themselves be not controlling that. They're just letting life goes on, and it's just a natural progression for something like that. But you can control who you surround yourself with.
Facts.
And so the way I see it is, it's a deep question. The way I see it is, it's people are trained a certain natural way. And over time, you know, whether it's the environment, whether it's what people say to you, whether it's your self-talk, whether it's social media, doesn't matter what it is, it ends up getting into your head. And so the one thing that, like, I guess the big thing that most people don't talk about is financial literacy.
Yeah.
It's huge because no one really talks about that. I mean, I went to college, graduated, high school, whatever. I didn't know anything about financial literacy. And so people have the wrong impression on money. Instead of they're holding on to it too preciously and too scared to let it go because they work so hard for it.
Yeah.
And so that's, I think, what contributes the most to it. The news, social media, you name it. And you have to understand that you're trying to do something different. And you have to isolate yourself to be able to get past all these things.
So you're saying you have to separate yourself from the norm, which is typically people's upbringing, their environment, probably who raised them, their friends, and then level up and focus on what they have to do.
Yeah.
No, that's great. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. So Matthew,
Yeah.
all right. What would you say?
Yeah.
Based on everybody that you've talked to on sales calls, right?
Yeah.
Why do you think people get in their head about investing in themselves? Like self-education,
Yeah.
setting up a business,
Yeah.
like, and I know you guys talk to a lot of people that currently work in the 9 to 5.
Yeah.
You also talk to a lot of business owners that also have money.
Yeah.
And what is the number one objection that you guys get or you guys see based on your experience? Because you have a ton of experience now.
Yeah.
What would you say is the number one objection that people just cannot get over that fear of investing in themselves?
Yeah. I mean, you said it. It's fear. It's really the unknown, which is if I take that step, like what's going to happen? You know, it's like fear of the future, it's maybe fear of something that's happened in the past, right? And it all comes down to one of those things where if you've never actually done it, like our body just wants us to be comfortable, right? It conditions us to be like, hey, I'm just going to stick to my 9 to 5 because this is what I know. I know it's going to pay the bills. I know it's going to, I'm just going to work till I retire. That's what I've been told is what's actually good for me. When you hear there's actually another path, there's another way, your body says like, not like, don't do anything different. It's uncomfortable. If something is uncomfortable, it's basically just your body trying to keep you safe, trying to protect you. So that's when we talk to someone who comes from like the 9 to 5 and they're used to working. Okay, I clock in at 7 a.m, I leave 3 p.m. And I know this because that literally was me. It's like I have that predictability of my paychecks coming in. So this idea of like, hey, I can create the wealth that I want, where I can get the freedom that I want, and it requires a different type of action.
Right.
Like that scares a lot of people. So really for us as consultants is to really give them that certainty.
Right.
That, hey, like if you come onto the other side, like everything's going to be okay. Because the worst thing is you don't take any action and you stay where you are. That's for me was what pushed me to take that action. Was my biggest fear is like I go to my deathbed and I didn't even try.
Yeah. That's deep, dude.
So
that's basically the force of average.
Yeah.
Keeping you down, man.
Right.
I know all about that.
Yeah.
It can be down for years.
Absolutely.
But all right, dude. Here's a really deep question I want to ask you guys, okay? Because you guys are considered experts. You guys are considered sales experts, right? You guys been doing it. You guys generated millions of dollars now in the online space, selling high-ticket items. Would you say, Matthew, that everybody is not meant for entrepreneurship? Would you say right now, and a lot of people are going to listen to this, dude, that social media is brainwashing folks to make entrepreneurship seem easy?
Yeah, absolutely.
What's your take on that, dude?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, with social media, you're just getting the highlight reel. You're getting the flashy cars. You're getting the nice houses. And really this idea of like location freedom, that's like a big thing that's being sold to people in 9 to 5. But they don't say what's really behind all that, like the hours that people put in, like Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, like them actually working in the garage, those thousands of hours. They just sell, again, the flashy things. So because of that, people kind of get trapped into, all right, well, business is going to be easy. Being an entrepreneur is easy, right? Just do like a couple of things and I should be able to get that lifestyle. But it's actually the opposite. As you know, building multiple businesses is actually the complete opposite.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just being real.
Yeah.
You know, this is what I always tell people. Like, if I was to do it all over again,
Yeah.
I would have done what you guys done,
Yeah.
and then been a number 2 or number 3
Yeah.
in a company. I would have been like a COO or CMO
Yeah.
because you get paid as much as the CEO
Yeah.
or even more sometimes, depending on bonuses.
Right.
But you don't gotta worry about the liability, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the exact same thing. Like
Yeah.
you guys get to go ahead and actually help people
Yeah.
by helping them build businesses, right?
Yeah.
And that's a great fulfillment. But then after that, do you guys usually talk to them as much as like the fulfillment team? Not really, right?
Yeah.
Once in a blue moon, you'll check up on them.
Yep.
Like, what's up? And like passing. But other than that, that's it. It's just the
Yeah.
onboarding with you guys, right?
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, man. So when you get to the level that you guys are at right now,
Mhm.
okay, what would you say is the hardest part of working a digital remote lifestyle position like you guys are? And this is for Brandon. What is the hardest part, bro? Like working from home, being able to travel, working from the laptop, because there's always pros and cons to everything.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So what do you think is the bad?
The bad is, well, number one in sales is there's a saying, right? You're as good as your last close. But it's actually the hardest part, I think, is consistency. And that not only applies to just working remote specifically, working in sales, but everything in general. So it's hard because you got to change your environment. It's one of the reasons I even chose to came out here, spend my own money to come out here, things of that sort, take the time, all this good stuff, because you got to change the environment. Okay? And if you don't,
So true.
it's hard because you got to look at it like this. Say you're on a sales call and you've been on 10 sales calls all day. The last person that's talking to you, they were looking forward to talking to you. And if you don't bring it, you're doing not only yourself a disservice, but you're doing them a disservice. Because what happens if you were in the right energy, in the right mindset, the right energy, and everything of that sort, they could have moved forward. But now, let's just say they had a bad experience with you, or maybe life gets in the way and they never end up making a move, and you didn't get them at the right time. Now, that's something that you got to live with for the rest of your life. So I got to say, it's consistency. It doesn't matter what you do. You just got to stay consistent.
How about you, Matt?
Yeah, just to pile on to what Brandon was saying is when you get to a certain level, like once you take off the training wheels, you got the fundamental, you got the structure, the scripts down. It just becomes a game of consistency, but also being able to like emotionally regulate. Not bringing, like I was mentioning, things of your personal life into your calls. And
Yeah.
at times in my career where even not too long ago where I was hitting a rut, like I was not hitting the numbers that I wanted to. And I was like, dude, I'm stressing. Like, what's going on? And then it starts to manifest, and you start to build an identity around that, and you start to question, like, man, like, why did I get into this? Like, should I go back to healthcare?
Yeah.
All these thoughts come into your mind, and and that's why I believe in journaling too. Because when you journal, you can track, okay, what's going on? Like, what's actually going on? So I started to do that more often. Actually, from Andy Elliott, I think one of the consultants, like Tommy came on, he's talking about the importance of journaling, and started to do that. And I was looking back, and I was like, all right, what are these things that's causing it? And I realized, man, I'm just letting things that happen in like family or whatever it is start to seep into my calls, and the energy was off. You can just sense it. So I had to really make sure I separated that, because, as Brandon was saying, it's not fair to the prospects, not fair to teams, not fair to myself, my family, who I'm doing this for, that's bleeding into my calls. And it's not allowing me to be the best I can be to serve these clients. And when I made that shift from it's not about me anymore, it's about just serving the person across the Zoom, they felt it. They can really feel if you're there to help them or not.
Yeah. So they feel the energy.
Exactly.
Do you guys think that energy is a big needle mover when it comes to sales calls?
Absolutely.
Yeah. How about you, Brandon?
Energy, but more attentiveness. Attentiveness as well as like awareness. Because it's almost like a performance you're putting on, right? Just one-on-one with the person. You have to bring out the best version of yourself. And it's like what we're talking about here. It's church and state that you got to separate. But end of the day, we're human beings. It's impossible to do that unless you're like a machine.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
I'll say 99%, and even for myself, I can't do it. So awareness is big, but I also like to be transparent because on the other side of the screen, they're human beings as well.
Right.
And they'll understand if you're sick and you're taking the calls just because you have to, they'll understand if you tell them.
Yeah.
Closed mouths don't get fed, right? It's something I hear from you a lot. So that's, I would say it's mixed.
I love that. I love that. Okay, guys. So this is going to be a question for both of you guys. So we'll start off with Brandon.
Yeah.
So what are the top 3 characteristics that makes an elite closer? Because I consider you guys elite closers.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we wouldn't be working with each other. Flat out, guys.
100%.
I always say this. I'm not trying to be a dick, but you're only as good as your last sale. And if you're not willing to put the energy, the fire behind helping people, then you're no good for yourself, but you're no good and you're not serving your clients. So you guys are elite. And I know you're elite.
Yeah.
Because you're here. So this question goes, what top 3 characteristics makes a solid closer?
Man, you got a lot of hard questions. But
Bro, this is the level up question. Yeah. To level up, huh, Emilio? Emilio's like, yes. We're here to level up. If you guys don't know who Emilio is the guy behind the screen making it all happen, the magic. All right? All right. Go ahead, Brandon.
top 3 characteristics. Oh. If I can turn it around to you real quick.
Sure.
'Cause I want to get some inspiration.
Of course.
All right. Well, what would you say are some important characteristics you need to have overall? And we can narrow it down a little bit more.
No, yeah. Important characteristics that I see in closers, they have to have self-awareness. So they have to be able to know who they are. They have to be able to be like, look, I'm decisive. I'm a leader. I believe in myself. I believe in this product. I believe in the person who's leading me. The second thing is conviction, dude. Conviction is huge.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, just like you guys said, people are happy to speak to you.
Yeah.
They more than likely see an ad by Zuckerberg, or they probably talk to me in the DMs, or they probably watch one of the live trainings, or they see my content, and then ultimately they book a call.
Yeah.
When people book a call, here's the thing. They have the intention to go ahead and get some type of value, right?
Yeah.
And the value starts from the time that they speak with the first person, which is typically you guys.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you guys come on the call with not that extra level of conviction on what you're saying, what you believe in, who you are, leading by example, belief in the company, do you think they're going to be excited to continue on a second call or to even buy the product?
Yeah, definitely not.
No, dude. So at the end of the day, those 2 main characteristics is huge to me. But the last thing is heart. Because here's a saying, guys, all right? And I know, you guys might want to go ahead and start your own company or might want to do your own startup in the future.
Yeah.
But I had these conversations with different CEOs and different founders. And the number one thing that we always say is there's no such thing as a bad employee. There's only bad leaders. And the reason why I say that is because whenever I hire anyone personally or whenever I refer anyone to work with me, I've already made that decision that they are the best person to work with me because I want almost like a split image of me, like a mini me, right? So I can see myself inside of you guys, right? Like I give a lot of energy out. I pour into people. Yeah. That's why people like working with me, dude. Yeah. And I'm not seeing that for clout. It's just I'm being real, guys. I have transaction, a history of doing good business with a lot of people. Yeah. And that's why I'm still in business. So at the end of the day, the people that I work with, the people that I employ, the people that I like welcome to work in my organizations, that's what I look for. Like good people that are passionate, have the conviction, and they're self-aware. And I think with a lot of the closers, especially in 2024 nowadays, they're not self-aware of themselves. They take a program, they take a course that promised them to make $10,000 to $15,000 a month, and they think by going ahead and shorting CEOs and founders by doing multiple offers, that means that number one, you're not self-aware of yourself, that you're all in. Because unless you're a super like sales expert, like you probably have 20, 30 years of experience selling multiple offers, like you can't sell to different audiences and be consistent. That's just the name of the game. So one of the businesses is going to suffer. And I see it time over time, and it's growing, and there's sales coaches out there that are training new closers and new consultants to actually think like this, which is the wrong way to think. When you go into any business, you want to go ahead and you actually want to go all in, dude.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, what gets you guys excited? Let's think about this. What gets you guys excited? When you guys come to work,
Yeah.
the morale,
100%.
culture, it's who you work with, right? Because if you guys look at any job, any school you've gone to, right? What makes it enjoyable?
People. Yeah.
People, dude.
Yeah.
That's why I loved being in law enforcement, because it was it was some shitty situations sometimes, right? Getting shot at, fighting people and all this stuff. I had to do my job. But what made it entertaining for me and what made it fun were my coworkers.
Right.
We just shoot the shit, dude, like regular people, right? And a lot of people are like, that's crazy. Nah, it's reality. A lot of people quit organizations and companies because they just don't like who they're working for.
Yeah.
And then numbers suffer, the business crumbles, and there's a disconnect there. So I know that was a long-winded answer. But yeah,
I'll give you a top one.
Yeah.
And it's conviction. Because you touched on it a little bit. A lot of times people are getting into sales for the wrong reasons, right? A lot of programs out there, sometimes they'll sell the idea of, you can make a lot of money. And don't get me wrong, Matthew and I were both examples of that. Paul, you know this as well, right? But if you're after it for the money, it's wrong, because even if you're number 2, number 3, there's a sense of it that you're still managing your own business. And if you don't self-reflect, if you don't improve, you become stagnant. And I'll give you an example. When I used to run a business a little bit more, like deeper into it, is COVID happened. And when COVID happened, there's a lot of, even my favorite restaurant, Sweet Tomatoes, out in the Bay Area, California. They closed because they couldn't adapt to the changes. While the restaurants, the businesses that survive, adapted. So as time goes on, as time changes, as people become more sales resistant, you have to adapt. If not, you'll get left behind. And so the second most important trait, I gotta say, is self-awareness. So every time I hop on a call, and even if someone moves forward, of course you're gonna feel good. You're like, I'm making money. It feels good. My family's gonna get taken care of. I can do this. I can do that. The team's celebrating you, hoorah, like that type of energy, and everything's great. But for me, if I didn't feel like I did a good job, I'm upset. I'm upset personally. I'm like, dude, I dropped the ball. Why did I say this? Why didn't I say this? What if I did this more? Even the best calls that I've ever had, you always have to take a self-look back and be able to grow. Because yes, you can depend on people, you can ask help for anything like that, but you got to be able to bring things to the table to ask for help. So I gotta say that's for me, man.
No, that's good, dude. Matthew, same question, but I'm gonna make it easier on you, bro. Just one. All right. So top characteristic as a closer.
You gotta know how to have a conversation. That's really it. I think I made this mistake too. Coming in as a closer, as someone who does remote sales, is you're talking to people. You know what I mean? Like you gotta be able to have a conversation, and understand like where they are, like where they want to be. And then just really, does what we do actually help them? Right. And you only get that through conversation. So.
So do you guys think it's just a matter of reps, or what can someone do that is brand new into sales, trying to be in a role just like you guys?
Yeah.
You know, making 15 up to what, 35K?
Yeah.
Crazy numbers,
Yeah.
which is insane to me, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm like, what the hell?
Life-changing money.
Yeah, life-changing money, dude.
Yeah.
You know? What can somebody new that wants to get into this field, high-ticket sales online specifically, do to go ahead and work up to your guys' level?
So I have a little background into like fitness.
Yeah, go
All right, and I'll use that as an example. Is there's levels to the game. Is how I see it. Okay, and first of all, you got to make the commitment whether it's going to be one day you're going to pursue this or day one, and there's never going to be a good time, right? But that's a little bit of a side note. I would say in the fitness world, if you're going to the gym and you're working out, eventually you're going to build more muscles, but it takes a lot of time to really build a lot of muscle and have like the really formed definition that you have. And then you can go into bodybuilding and so on. And so, you know, just thinking of the question, if you could repeat it one more time.
Yeah. If somebody brand new that's trying to get into sales right now, what actionable steps would you tell them? You give them like 3 to 5 steps that they could take to start heading to the path of where you're at, dude. Because there's a lot of people. You said $35,000, your best month, dude.
Yeah.
You're 16, excuse me. But yeah, for money like that, dude, that's life-changing money, especially from home. So what steps could they take in order to start their journey to being a consultant?
Yeah, there's so much things you could do. But actually the first place that I would start is I would start on YouTube. Okay, because I mean, for those of you that bought courses and you're like, yeah, I could have found on YouTube for university, you're right. The best free resource nowadays is YouTube. And then the second thing I would do is, even if you don't have Facebook, even if you're not a big fan, I'm not a big fan of Facebook, okay? If it wasn't for this, I wouldn't be on Facebook or social media in general. So you got to go Facebook and you just got to join all the groups, okay? You got to join all the groups related to this and the industry that you're interested in, if there's an industry that you're interested in. And the third thing is follow your favorite social medias, people, okay? Do your due diligence in them. A lot of people, what they'll do nowadays is they'll follow people for a little bit of time to see if it's worth investing into, because you don't want to jump the gun. There's a lot of free resources out there. And as you go through the training, make sure that it's like, make sure you're not just going through it once, okay? You gotta go through it more than once to let it really sink in. It's like, imagine you watch a movie and you catch like some good parts, you watch a movie again, you're like, you see different things. It's the same thing, right? So as you do your due diligence, I would say, hey, the number one question you gotta ask yourself is, why am I even doing this? Okay, and it's okay if you don't have all the answers, but that's where I would start. First, why are you even trying to get into sales? Why are other people trying to get into sales? Am I getting into it for the right reasons? And you focus on the basics. That's as you go through your training. How do you objection handle? How do you build rapport? How do you conversate as a normal human being? And things of that sort. But all of this doesn't matter if you don't implement. Okay. And when I say implement, I'm not saying, hey, drop your job and, you know, go deep into sales and go all in, right? For some, maybe. But practice on your family. That's free. Practice in the mirror. Record yourself. There's so much that you can do. You have to implement those little things. Those are just some ideas for you that you could do for free. Things that you've learned. So for example, say you're arguing with your significant other and you can just be like, hey, so just so I understand what's really going on. And you're using a little bit of tonality. You're using a little bit of, hey, you're framing the question before you ask it. You make it a little bit more gentle. And you're coming from a pace where you care. When you talked about heart, it's an example of that, I would say. So you got to implement in that and see if it's for you.
Smart. And before I go to Matthew and ask him the same question, man, what would you say, okay, as a top G in sales right now, what would you say?
I'm not.
What would you say is a good percentage closing ratio from, let's say, triage, which, guys, if you don't know what a triage is, it's an informational call. Typically, it's a short time call where people get more information about the service, the product, the business that you are doing if they're interested, and then you tell them a generalized idea of what that is, including pricing. Sometimes no, and then they jump into a 45-minute to 1 hour consultation, where then they go in deep into the roots of the business that you are trying to provide for them and add more value, and then you can go either follow up or you can enroll people from there. So what would you say
Yeah.
is a good closing ratio right now in the sales industry online?
So, to be really, really transparent, I think closing percentage is a fugazi. It doesn't exist. Okay. Closing percentage of what? What about the rest of the data?
Yeah.
How many of those people did they actually show up? How many of them move forward to the second call? Okay. So let's say you have a 2-call process.
Yeah.
And your first call, you take 100 calls.
Right.
But you only book, let's just say 25% of that. You only book the ones that you know 100% will move forward. What do you think your closing percentage is going to be like?
Yeah.
90%, 100% maybe. And so there's more numbers to that, okay? Nice. And also it depends on what offer it is. Of course, there's things that you can control and there's things that you cannot control. Such as marketing is just a different department. You don't worry about what they do. And I think that's a mistake that a lot of closers end up making.
Yeah.
Is they're focusing too much energy on things they can't control. You focus on things you can control. Did I hit this person up in all different platforms? Because maybe they have phone issues.
Yeah.
Maybe email is how they operate. Maybe social media is how they operate, and so on. How much work did I put in? And there's more numbers to the story. Okay? It's like reading a book and you read the first page and you're like, yeah, that's your closing percentage. What about the rest of the book?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I would say, man.
No, that's good. That's a good point of view, man. All right, Matt. So what would you say is the reason most people quit from actually being a closer or being a consultant online? Because like we said in the beginning of this pod, man, there are literally hundreds of thousands of people that have bought programs to become closers, but ultimately there's a humongous dropout rate.
Yeah.
Because if it was easy,
Yeah. Right.
do it, right? So what is your opinion on that, man? Like, what are the top 3 reasons why people quit?
Yeah. I feel like the number one thing is expectations, right? Expectations. Like, again, because going back to what we were talking about, how, not to call out anybody, but, sometimes people paint this vision of like what a closer is. Like, hey, you're just jumping on a Zoom call in your PJs, you're just jumping on like a 60-minute call and you're going to get paid 10, 15, 20K. And when they come into it, they realize, okay, there's a lot more behind that. So number one, it's just that mismatch of expectations, what it actually takes to be a closer to actually make the money you want to make.
Yeah.
Second thing is, I say burnout, man. Like, Brandon, you'd agree too. Like, being a closer is like a sport. It's like being an athlete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So people burn out, and it comes down to just not being aware of it.
Right.
You're putting in the time, you're overworking yourself, and you're not taking the breaks you need to. You're not taking care of your body. I've heard stories of like closers who literally don't go out of their room to eat, like until it's like from like rising the sun to like the sun comes down. So not taking care of your
why do you
body.
think they do that, man?
Yeah, it's
Are they fasting?
well, like not in the way that's good for them, man. It's one of those things where it's like, hey, you got to hit these numbers, and you got to figure out to make it work.
So they're making themselves suffer by not eating?
Yeah,
That's wild.
it's crazy, man.
Only when you're young.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely
I
would
think
not.
it's healthy when you got a family.
Yeah, definitely would not recommend that, man. Make sure you eat, make sure you hydrate, make sure you get your 8 hours of sleep. I'm guilty of this too, man. I can't say like, oh, I'm like all perfect. And I think the third thing too is just some people, they just don't land in good companies, and like you were talking, like the culture's not there. Sometimes you're working with, a business owner who, is still shouldn't even be taken on like a closer. So those to say the biggest 3 things.
No, those are solid 3 things, man. So, guys, where can they go ahead and find you? Let's start with Brandon. So, where can they find you if people want to reach out to you, man? They want to check out like your content. They want to follow you on IG.
Yeah.
Where can they find you, dude?
You can hit me up at mtf.brandonfam. I'll post to the best of my ability, but I'm not a social media guy. Also find me on Facebook. It's facebook.com/fam24d. And if you're interested in a convo, I'm always open. You always hit me up. So that would be the two best places. And I promise, even though it doesn't seem like I'm on it that much, I will check it.
All right. And then some words of motivation, man. As you guys know, this podcast is helping others, helping them with their mindset, self-help, motivation, getting them started. Because at the end of the day, some people are in bad environments. Some people don't have the right people around them, and they need to be poured into, man. This is why I'm on the podcast. So some words of encouragement from you, Brandon, to the audience and the listeners actually tuning into this right now. What would you guys tell them to level up?
No matter what you do, and I'm going to keep it more general, okay? Because we could be speaking to a very large audience. No matter what you do, don't ever give up, okay? There's a reason you started. There's a reason you're pursuing whatever you're pursuing. And there's a lot of people that are going to talk bad about you. And I'll give a quick scenario. It's if you were to ever start a business, you're doing something else that, or even get into high ticket sales, you're doing something else that no one else would do. They don't understand. And so you let things, outside factors, talk you out of it. And you got to understand that if you're really trying to become the 1%er, if you want the nice things in life, if that's for you, or if you really want to be able to take care of your family, find what it is that you want to do and don't give up, because external factors, life, everything of that sort is going to get in the way. Do not let that happen to you, because if you don't give up, you can't fail. Okay, and I'll give another one quick story. I have a friend. He's a day trader. Okay, and he's a day trader. Yeah, and if any of you are into day trading, you lose a lot of money when you first start. They say, don't quote me on this, they say it takes about 7 years to be able to get there. And his family is, I'm Asian, right? So you can assume he's Asian as well. So very traditional, where it's like, hey, you got to get a job, you got to do this, you got to do that. And even though he's lost $80,000, even though everyone's like, hey, you're not going to make it, his parents are telling him, you got to go make money. He's been single, like whatever the case might be. He's never given up. So as long as you don't give up, and actually more recently, he's making money, okay? He's making money, he's not giving up no matter what. So whatever you do, whatever you pursue, don't give up and put in the work.
I love that. I love that.
Nice.
So shout out to Brandon's boy who's making money off of day trading now. I love that for you. All right, Matthew.
Yeah.
Where can people find you, bro?
Yeah. So if you want to reach out to me, I'm more than happy to share, things I've learned being in this industry, being a high ticket closer. So you can find me on Instagram, Matthew D. Buena, or on Facebook, just literally type my name, Matthew Buenaflor.
And Matt, a few words for the audience right now to inspire them to level up.
Yeah, I would say, someone like me who was just on the traditional path of going healthcare, always wanted to be an entrepreneur, always wanted to do something, can do it, then you definitely can. There's nothing special about me. So if I can make something and pursue the goals that I wanted to, then really there's no reason why you can't. So
phenomenal, dude. Phenomenal. And guys, there you have it. 2 young guys in the game of sales consulting in the online world. It's 2024, guys. The world's changing, and you got to change with it, okay? It has to work, or it has to work, guys, okay?
Yeah.
With that being said, guys, make sure to check out the rest of our episodes here at the Level Up Podcast. I'm Paul Alex. Make sure to subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube, and make sure to actually share this with a friend, family member, someone that you care about if you are listening to this on Spotify and Apple Podcasts everywhere, guys. Take care and have a great night.